guys, so today is March 29th, and this is the Professional Culture Committee, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So what we're going to be doing tonight is I want to do some brainstorming on doing remote training development. And I also want to touch on the fact that during our congresses, people are not doing their video. I understand if there's certain circumstances, but what we need to start doing is going ahead and getting people dressed professionally for a meeting and being in an attentive space for the meeting. So, Jason, do you have any ideas? Does that sound good to you?
I love
Jason?
it. Let me see. I may have unmute Mike. He is unmuted. So.
Yeah, sorry. I had another screen pulled up, and then I was like trying to get back to this to unmute myself. I was looking to see if I could find my notes, but yeah. Yeah, no, I don't really. I've had kind of a busy time of it lately too. I don't really have any special thoughts on it. As far as like, you know, how to, I'm always of the opinion that we can, like, you know, formulate some ideas and come up with like what's the best few ideas that we've got, and then run it by Congress and see what the rest of the group thinks. So however you want to do it.
So I think if people can't be in business casual attire and have their camera on, I think we all need to have good profile photos like yours, Jason. Yours is on point. So if we can get people to take, or they don't even have to take it, it can be an old photo, you know, just something that's professional. I think that's something we need to start pushing because it's so boring just watching a broadcast and it's just black screen, black screen, black screen with someone's name on it.
Yeah, I don't know why that happened. Like everybody wants their camera off. I don't know why that went that way. It's bizarre. I'm not sure. We didn't used to do that.
I understand why Wildstar did it. He had his son in the room. And I totally understand. I prefer not to have my son on camera as well, just for security reasons. It was more of a necessity that he ended up having to be on camera. And then I know with JD, he also has kids. So that's one thing. The rabbi actually pops a video or a photo of himself up. So that's good. And then Weaponized News Sam, he does that as well. So we have some people that have already started. So we just need to talk to the others, and I think everybody's going to be on board with this.
So if you can't do your camera, do have a nice photo as your screen shot saver. Okay, I'll make sure to get that out.
Like I don't want to be like telling people like, hey, you have to do something that you're uncomfortable with. So I want to have like an option. So I think that's reasonable.
Yeah, no, I'll do it. I'll tell them. I think it makes sense. It's an easy compromise. You don't want to get dressed up. You don't want the camera on. Okay, well, it's a conference. It'd be better if you can. I get it. Not everybody can. People have different life circumstances. But I was just saying, like, it was like 7 out of 10 people. I don't think all 7 have kids or life circumstances. So maybe this is just easier to say, all right, well then do what Jason did, because Jason looks solid right there. Just take a nice photo. You're done. We can do that. If I can get this pin.
Yeah, I mean, I do think it does, having video does make it look a lot more involved, right? No matter what, people speak and they're involved, and you can see it. But ultimately, the visual power of seeing 20 people on camera all together rather than just 15 pictures and 5 people. But yeah, like for me, I've got some nice stuff to wear now, and I'm able to keep my beard, my very Germanic beard, trimmed back. But I'm not exactly able to just do the dress up in the morning when it's like 50 degrees outside.
Yeah, but you got a photo now, so you're set. This is an easy compromise. I'll implement it this Sunday. I'll tell everybody. I'll call people before Sunday, and I'll go like, "Can you post up a nice professional photo of yourself if you can't dress up for the show?" Then that's like something.
Yeah. We don't, Jason, like you being an extra on Vikings, like that's totally cool. But I do appreciate you shaving your beard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then for remote training, I think, so it was 2 weeks ago that we did the icebreaker. So I think what we need to do is start working on possibly doing an icebreaker or a game, uh, the first meeting of the month, every month. And then it'll just solidify the relationships with people a little bit more.
Also, I talked to Crystal Wildstar, and she is willing to, not this Sunday,
Okay.
but the following week, come and do a positive energy team training during the Congress session. So not this week, but next week.
So the 11th of April.
Let me double check.
This coming Sunday is the 4th. And this Sunday is Easter. So we might have some people not available.
Yeah, that's fair. Lesson that we learned.
We did still do on the Super Bowl and on Valentine's Day. We still met, and people still showed up. So,
But those aren't religious holidays. So
that's
we have a
true.
couple pastors. I'm sure, because JT is a pastor. I know you're a pastor as well. So there might.
Well, I'm a deacon. I'm not actually an ordained minister or anything.
Oh, okay.
It's more like an honorary degree kind of thing.
Got it. Okay.
I think we still go forward with it.
Oh yeah. It's just I think we might have a low turnout.
Yeah, we might.
And then Crystal will be here for 11 for doing positive team building.
Yes, whatever the meeting after this Sunday is, she'll be there. She already committed, and it's positive team building, 10 to 20 minutes. And I already told Wildstar that I got your permission from rules, from professional development culture committee. So he's like, please. So I can follow up with Crystal at your direction if you're okay with this. Next week, after this weekend, leading up to that.
I'm adding it to my calendar right now. Okay. Awesome. So that's about it for professional culture for tonight. Pretty short meeting. I think we can go on ahead and, oh, I'm sorry, Marcus. Yeah, you had your hand up.
May I request permission from the head of the Committee on Professional Culture to present a few items
No.
for possible consideration?
Yes.
No? Oh, well. Okay.
Okay, Marcus. What are your ideas?
Okay, so I'm going to do a screen share real quick for a second here.
Okay.
I'm not watching. You can't make me.
Right. So first off, I think that when we're looking at remote training, the idea is that there's a ton of material just depending on the words that you use. And I would recommend for the Professional Development Committee to basically get good at using the phrase high productive team. If you type in high productive team on Google search engines or YouTube, there is a ton of research on how to develop teams. And a lot of it's things that we could do remotely. Additionally, covering what makes a high productive team each week at the meeting, just insights, I think would make us more come together. You know, we even just the conversation of what can we do to be more productive and getting into the psychology of it and working together in best practices and even discussing them each week, I think would raise the profile of the group so that we're really looking into how to be super successful and professional. And because the idea is that we want like a very high productive Congress where people can debate, but they're professional and can work things out. So the phrase that I used was performance management or project management techniques or high productive team. So if you type in high productive team on YouTube, there's how Google builds the perfect team, secrets of teamwork, high performance teams in the world, Google's highest performance team, 5 traits of highly effective teams, 7 habits of a, well, you don't want that one. What Google earned, top habits of highly effective Google managers, maybe not that, teams. So when you type in these, there's a lot there. And we could even show video.
There was a playlist. Would you mind scrolling a little bit down again?
Yeah.
Right there, 18.
I am, just to show how awesome StreamYard is, typing this in private chat now. Everyone has access to that private playlist. And that has a mixture of different stuff in that on how to build churches and productive teams. But yeah, how to keep your team motivated, setting the right goals. And one of the, so if we started looking at what these were talking about, just even covering them for a few minutes each week, I think that'd be great. Here's a video from Google, and it's only 5 minutes. And one of the things that got me was, and I mean, like, we can practice being a high productive team, but I also think there's a lot of value in just discussing it. Because trying to find it. Anyways, what they found out from this was that after 5 years of studying every single team Google had, it wasn't if you were an expert, it wasn't how many veterans of projects you had there, it wasn't if somebody needs 2 hours sleep, it wasn't if they were super intelligent. What they found out was to equal time speaking. Teams that had that were super productive. I didn't know that. You can also type in high productive teams online on Google. So high productive teams, 15 characteristics. There's a ton here. And some of these are things you can do, like setting results, sharing knowledge, flexibility. We can do that remotely. Open communication. Now, obviously, there's going to be some remote training, like team building, which I thought was wildly successful. I told Christine that. Wow, good job. But I just picked one, and we could do something each week. Here's one from Google. Google found 3 ways to improve employee collaboration and productivity while working virtually. Mm-hmm. This is based upon a study. blah, blah, blah. Allow and encourage mindless chatting. Apparently it builds bonding. For reoccurring meetings, switch up the time, I guess. Use your words and your face. So little things that really help out. So that was just an idea that I would like to suggest to the professional development, is to you just do those regular searches and we could just present findings every week. The more you talk about how we need to be professional, I've noticed that you're constantly coming up with ideas. And so it occurred to me, what if we had everybody talking about we all need to be more professional? We say that, but Christine, you live it. And what if we had everybody live it, at least for a few minutes each Sunday? Maybe there'd be a lot of people feeding into the community and coming up with ideas and feeding it back to you, and it'd just be more positive. That's it. I'm done.
No, that's a good idea. I have it written down. So let's present it on Sunday.
Okay. I'll present. We can present Google on Sunday. Google productive teams.
And then
we'll do like,
go ahead.
well, it would be cool if every meeting we could do 5 minutes of whatever you think makes a productive team. If we have training or not training, or I could present it for you. If you can't make it Sunday, whatever, but that every Sunday we have 5 minutes of, folks, we're going to take time to talk about.
Yeah, no, this is great. And so I will do my homework and get something ready for Sunday. And then you said you had a couple ideas, or was it all of these things as the multiple ideas?
These were all these things. Just that when you type in high productive teams or project management or high performance teams, there's a lot of research because corporations have spent billions looking into this.
Yeah.
But most of it's already available and we can just grab it for nothing. Literally, we can, if we search, there's $1 billion worth of research for the taking. And we can just grab little snippets.
To try to reinvent the wheel.
Without trying to reinvent the wheel. I mean, Google did a 5-year study. We don't have to. We could just go, hey, folks, today we're going to spend 5 minutes talking about what did a tech company find was the 3 most important behaviors for a remote group that are highly productive. We didn't force anybody to do it. We didn't even train them. But at least we got the idea in their heads. And then we can repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. I'm sure you've seen with the little man, you say a lot of things over and over again, and eventually he gets it, right? Like you have to go, Mommy said, I think you were telling me like, don't grab, there was a word for grab or there was an Arabic word. Yeah. So I think without insulting people, it's like little man, like you were telling me, I'm trying to teach him this Arabic word that knows, don't touch that or hot or something. And he didn't get it the first 5 times, but he started to the 10th time.
Yes.
Little man, you're our model. Okay. We're basing the whole org around you. So when you watch this 30 years from now,
he'll be so thrilled.
Oh God, Mom, you talked about me publicly. Oh my God. All my robot high school friends are not impressed with me now. So
I know, right?
It's 30 years in the future.
Mom's so embarrassing.
Your mother was embarrassing to you 30 years ago, humanoid. Sorry, I'm done dorking out. I'm done. This is live. That's it.
And then, okay. So Jason, do you have anything to add? I know out of all of us, you're juggling the most right now. So.
I don't really, I mean, I like it. I like the sound of it.
There's a button there.
Yeah, no, sorry, there's lots of background stuff going on. Yeah, I definitely am looking forward to some more like, kind of refined group skills. Hopefully, one of my big things has, since we've kind of reformed yes was, more active participation across the board from all sorts of folks. Because some of us are like gung ho on committees, some of us not so much. But to kind of get us all working together better and a little more to get people more involved, right?
Yeah.
It's only going to increase production level, and the more productive we are, the faster we're able to steam along with our steamship Calexit.
Yeah. Okay. Definitely.
Also brings in new members. So when we jump to Stream, also brings in new members. When we jump to StreamYard, 2 new people I've never spoke with started commenting on the videos. So the more professional it looks, the more we have people participate. Total new people. They just see it and they go, I want to talk to you because of that. And that's something, Christine, you had brought to our attention. The more you keep raising the bench and you look more and more professional, the more people go, oh, this is someone we're talking to, right? Just the way they hold themselves up. They're worth spending time on. So it is, and I made that horrible mistake with the date. I'm so embarrassed. Thank you, Jason and Christine, bringing that to my attention. That was really embarrassing. But it also proves the point. We're going to get so good with that stuff that it's all those. We're already at where we're nitpicking on little details because everybody wants this level.
We're getting there. Hey.
We're getting there. And it's the culture. We've already, that's the thing. I'm sorry, I'm waking up a little bit here. I took a nap. But it's
Marcus,
working.
It wasn't a huge mistake. It was a typo.
Yeah.
It's not a world-ending mistake.
I kicked myself in 30 minutes.
Go ahead and be a little bit embarrassed. It'll help you remember it and not do it again. But it's not a world-ending mistake.
Thank you. I was like, oh God, I spent so long on the show to make sure everything's right, and you're like, the date, homie, tile 2, you got wrong. I'm like,
hey, at least it wasn't like the journalist who called Xi Jinping 11 Jinping. Because
oh my,
it did happen. Yeah, this happened a couple years ago. They saw the XI in Xi and they were like, oh, Roman numeral 11. If you YouTube it,
just shows how little someone pays attention to things when they say things like that.
Yeah.
Which is exactly why it was a big deal when Joe Biden announcing Javier Becerra can't even say the dude's name right because he hasn't even taken the time to look at what the dude's name is, let alone think about how might this be pronounced or any of that, which says he had nothing to do with that choice. He had no input, no care, and if he did actually have any concern, he would have taken the time to view the name and been like, okay, who is this? What's their track record? Tell me what I need to know about them, right? Yeah, it says unprofessional, and that's the only thing. And that's why we point out the tiny little minute details to you, Marcus. It's not that we think you're incapable. It's not that we're like, we're going to lead a mutiny if he says the date is one day off ever again. It's that it just says unprofessional, and we know that you're not unprofessional. We know we're not unprofessional. And we point it out because we know that you're able to take feedback and go, oh, hey, good catch, thank you. And you don't take it as, uh-oh, they're going to mutiny. I left in another typo.
Yeah, overboard. Yeah. Goodbye,
Okay.
Captain. Whoa, I was one typo. Okay.
So let's go on ahead and wrap this meeting up, and then we can go on ahead and start on the rules committee.
What I'd like to do is keep it one streaming. I'm going to put the 30-second timer clock, so when people watch this, they'll clear edits things. So I'm going to, Christine, with your permission as head of rules committee,
Yes.
I would ask your permission that I'll put the timer block up. When that 30 seconds ends, you would open up the rules committee. So we'll go to timer ends. You're on with rules committee and act like it's a new show.
Okay, can do that.
Okay. All right, let's go to this. And Jason, thanks for working out these little details with me. You're my favorite experimental Wuhan cat.
Hi, you guys. So it is March 29th, and this is the Rules Committee. So on Sunday, we did go over a couple things. Marcus, would you mind doing a rundown of those things that we covered yesterday at the Congress meeting?
Yes, ma'am, if it pleases the head of the Rules Committee. Yesterday, we had presented back to Congress following the procedure developed by people here, I think almost a month and a half ago. We actually followed the procedure. So I wanted a new rule. I went to the Rules Committee, ran it through the Rules Committee. Rules Committee wrote it up beautifully. Then we presented it to Congress this Sunday, and Congress approved of it. And so now it's officially approved. And I was very pleased we walked it through the whole system. So someone comes to the committee looks at it, adjudicates, and then if they approve it, they write it up really well. Then we went to Congress, showed the write-up, they loved it, and then it was formally approved. So now it's a done deal. The new rule is that just to the short version I gave, which was somewhat inaccurate, and thank you for calling me out on Sunday because I don't want to mislead anybody, but and I have a habit of, as my mom calls it, Pollyanna, sunshine happy version, short, succinct. So I just said it was, don't talk about other Cal-Exit groups so that we avoid drama. And you were pointing out, well, it's a little bit more than that. And we read the whole thing, which is great. But that's basically it. I don't have the formal text. I could grab it and we could
That's
show
okay. We've said it repeatedly on camera and on recording. So it's there in the archives if anybody is interested.
Yes, yes, it is.
So
I'm trying to, basically along the lines of, please don't mention other groups. And if you do, there's an escalating ladder of steps where you're removed more and more from the platform. Gradually, we're not trying to kick anybody out, but it was like, hey, come on. We asked you nicely. Okay, you're making some issue about it. All right, well, then we have to escalate. And that was basically it. And it left an option that if other Cal-Exit groups wanted to come to a Congress meeting, they're more than welcome. Just go through the proper system. That was what I saw. I loved it. I was really pleased the system worked out. Really, really, really expletive pleased. System worked out. Because when we started, I just wanted to have a conversation amongst Californians and a few Americans about, is it reasonable to discuss California independence and what would happen? And then everybody's like, well, I can't take this seriously unless we have all these rules. So we did all these painful rules meeting, but it worked.
yeah.
And then we did it. And I'm walking through the process, kind of blindly going, okay, I'm just going to trust that this works. I'm going to trust this works. I wasn't really feeling it, but I knew everybody that I was working with was smart. So I'm like, you don't know if it's good or bad. You got to try it. So I held off my opinion, and it worked. I came to the committee, said I wanted this issue, said I wanted the rule. The committee adjudicated it. They pushed back a little bit on some of the things I said and said, that's a little bit too much, but you could phrase this and do it this way. I agreed to what the rules committee proposed with me, and then they worked through a text. It was better than anything I could write. Then I went back to Congress and we said rules committee approved this. People generally almost bought on it that right way, just me being able to say y'all approved it. And then when I read the text that the committee made, that was it. As a board member, I could technically go to Congress on my own and say I want a new rule, but wow, this went so much better going through the system and the proper network. And it was a lot of help to, once I convinced the rules committee and I worked with them what I was appropriate to propose. And even as president, I was asking for something that maybe wasn't the best or perfect, and we worked it down to something reasonable. And then I got a text. I was able to go back to Congress saying, I have backing for this idea, and we have the text written. And that was it. They were just done. Way easier, folks, than if you have to go in by yourself and sell this all on your own, which I've done and I can do. And I'm telling you, coming from it, it pays to go to the committees. So much less effort. So much less effort. People actually trying to work with you. No, you're not going to get everything you want just how you want it, because that's not their job. But I'm more and more a fan of using the committees as time goes on. I gotta say, it's just, and I was a skeptic, and it was beautiful to see it work this perfectly.
Okay. But as far as this week's agenda, we don't have anything new as far as rules at the moment.
That was it.
Wow.
I think we're starting to make enough rules that people feel there's enough.
I think so too. We don't want so much red tape that we can't walk 2 feet.
No, unfortunately, I'm not sensing that. It seems like there was a lot of requests for rules early on. But after we had them through that one horrendous meeting, that was it. Like, there was a little thing here and there.
I think we might actually be able to move the rules committee into an ad hoc committee, just like the judiciary committee. So as needed, we can do this committee.
I second.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that as well.
I think we probably need to go ahead and present this to Congress and just get a vote. Even though we're the regular committee members, just in case somebody comes back and be like, no, I don't see anybody doing this, but somebody could be like, no, there must be a rules committee meeting every week. I don't see it happening, but just to follow procedure, we need to go on ahead and do this.
If it pleases the head of the committee, I would ask permission from the head of the committee to bring that up this Sunday. I will personally propose that to Congress with permission from the committee.
Yes, you have permission.
Okay. Great. Then we're going to say, hey, it worked, folks. We kind of dug everything up, did everything we need to do. If there's something, we'll meet. But if there's not, we could just focus on professional development.
Okay. Good.
Jason?
Yeah, I'm in total agreement. There's not really any rules that need to be formulated right now, so there's no need for it. And going to ad hoc means that if the committee if the Congress decides that we need another rule, or there needs to be some sort of clearly defined rule about something because someone was playing some gray area a little too closely, or maybe someone was tap dancing around in the DMZ again. Then we have a mandate to come back together as an ad hoc group, discuss the issue and how to tackle it, and formulate the proposed rule, and then bring it to the Congress and say, okay, here you go. You asked for it. Here it is. and see whether they approve or want us to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
It's really, the process is very simple and very efficient. And it seems kind of like maybe the committees might not be necessary, but the reason for the committees is because unless you want your Congress meeting to have every single committee meeting inside of that Congress meeting, thereby making it like, a 16-hour long meeting, which no one wants that, right? So unless you want that, then you break stuff up into committees for people to, troubleshoot and formulate the exact right ideas to bring forth to Congress. And those meetings get to then just be about, agree that to do something or not, and then move on. It's a high production kind of a thing. But yeah, I'm all for it.
Okay. Well, I guess that wraps up for March the 29th. Good job, you guys. Good teamwork.
Okay, I'm going to end the broadcast with the committee head's permission. But
Yep.
if I could ask y'all to stay on the line, I'll just end the live broadcast.
Okay.